This is the amazing Commander NV100 Plus.
So, having a look at what you get in the box, you essentially get the scope itself. This is the RapidFire Plus scope. We get a scope attachment, so that's if you're going to use this unit, which is the NV100, with another scope that you may have. So they're kind enough to provide you with an additional adapter there. Got two scope mounts, silicone rubber eyepiece, some shimming tape, some instructions and a lens cloth. So let's have a quick look at the main parts of the unit and we'll get rid of the accessories. Now if you remember in an earlier video I did a review on the NV100 Plus. Now this unit is absolutely beautiful. These are good solid ABS plastic, aluminium flash on the front. Now the whole build and the shape here, especially with the aluminium on the front, it gives it a good solid look and feel. We've got on the back a nice soft silicone eyepiece which is attached to an easy to twist adapter wheel. Now use the adapter wheel to make sure that you can focus your eye to the internal screen. When you're doing an initial setup on the device, you are given some shapes and patterns on the screen. Adjust this to get those patterns lined up and nice and sharp, and once they're nice and crystal clear, you can then progress through the rest of the menus and set everything up. The next wheel is this one on the front here. Now this is used to focus this lens to the reticle of your scope that you're using. Under here we've got USB charge point and transfer, the SD card and an aux port there. Now this is good solid seal, watertight seal, or water resistant seal I'd say. At the front here we've got a compartment which houses an 18650 battery. I do like the fact they're using the 18650s because they are very easy to come by, and a lot of my shooting equipment, torches, NV stuff use those. This is the unit on the front. This is the infrared unit. Simply pull it out, push it back, twist to get the focus, spot and wide beam and the infrared. On the back here the lens is crystal clear, same as on the front. Beautiful glass there, you can see the branding of the NV100. The menu on the back is very straightforward. You have the power, zoom, you switch between your, if you can see there, you switch between your camera or stills and video. You've got your menu button, you've also got your infrared and your different levels. Now one little gripe I have with these units, if oneleaf are listening, is the simple one touch power on. Now what I do like is the press and hold to turn it off so you don't accidentally knock it off. But when you use the one touch power on, it's very easy. When it's in your bag, if that button is knocked, you've instantly got the power to the unit and it's going to drain the battery. It would be nice to have a press and hold to power the unit on for a few seconds, just as you do to power it off. What they provide as well, as I said, was this unit. Now this is a scope mount, so this would be attached to your scope and you just use the Allen keys here, and you would also use some shimming tape if you need to go around the scope to ensure that you've got a nice tight snug fit there. Once that's on, you would attach that onto the front of the unit like so, get the alignment right, and that locks it onto your scope. That would now sit on your scope. Quick release, take it off, good to go. Now what I especially like, what they've done is they've thought this through very thoroughly. Remove the cap on the RapidFire Plus, take the IR, click it on, and that's it. Instantly aligned, no shimming tape required, straight on, and it's a good solid snug fit. Quick release to take it off, and you can use the scope just as you would any other. Straight on, solid. Look at that. Very sexy. Now, we're going to go and have a look at some of the specs of this, talk about this unit a little bit more, talk about the scope. I'm going to show you some footage, and then we'll go through the whole kit and see it on the rifle.
The menu system on the device is beautiful, very neatly laid out, it looks good, it's very intuitive, very easy to navigate through, very sharp, clear text, beautiful, well laid out icons. I'm not going to go into any great detail on it on this video because it's very difficult to record via a camera. Now, unlike one unit fixed scopes, the NV100 comes in two parts, as you've already seen, the scope and the recording unit itself, which means you can use the recording unit as a standalone camera to get some additional recording, get some additional footage and additional angles when you're out shooting, all using the onboard IR and SD card. Simply point and shoot and you're good to go. It's really good, like I said, if you want to get some additional footage when you're shooting, add that little bit extra to your videos. I use the ATN Excite 4K Pro on my air rifle, and that is a 5x base mag with digital zoom beyond that. The RapidFire Plus is 4 to 24x optical zoom, and it is absolutely beautiful. The zoom on the ATN doesn't come anywhere near the quality that this RapidFire Plus provides. Use it as a standard scope, or if you want to record what you're doing, simply click the recording unit on the back, and of course you've got the infrared built into that too. The NV100 unit itself is absolutely beautiful. I do have a small issue, now this could be my eyes rather than the unit itself, but I find that unless I'm looking directly down the centre of the rear optic, I do get a slight blur, and you can't always tell if that's a blur because of the lens or a blur because of the focus, and you'll see that in these upcoming shots. I am actually out of focus here, but at the time I put it down to me possibly not looking through the rear lens dead centre. Whether you're using the scope alone or whether you're using the recording unit on the back, it's very easy just to move those extra couple of inches forward or back to get your eye relief. They really have thought this through. Another important point to note is its weight. It is so lightweight you could carry it around all day on top of a rifle and you wouldn't even notice it. When I go shooting with my FX Impact with the Excite on top, the Excite weighs more than the rifle. Whether you're using this at night or during the day, the quality is beautiful. Here I'm scanning around. I think the IR level here is about 1 or maybe 2. This is underneath some machinery on one of my ratting permissions, and you'll see in a moment a dirty little rat comes out to play. If you're new to nighttime shooting or you're experienced, these units are absolutely perfect. Where you're benefiting with something like this, especially if you're using a lightweight rifle and you want something that's very easy to carry around, is the fact that the scope is just that. It's a scope. You have an optic at the front, an optic at the back, and a gas filled tube in between. When you're looking at stuff like the ATN, essentially you've got a camera at the front, a screen at the back, a computer or a board in between, and the whole unit is battery, which adds a lot of weight to the overall unit. All of those electronics are stored in the rear of the device on these, in the NV100 Plus. You can see from the approximate distance in the top left, this unit has absolutely no problem whatsoever punching out to a good shooting distance. You're looking at 35 yards out to 42 yards here, and then I bring it back in and you can see there's no difference whatsoever. And in the daytime this thing is absolutely beautiful. We're looking at about 80 yards here across the field. This is a wild bird feeder. It's often frequented by squirrels and rats. However, today there's none about. Whether you're using this for longer range shots and really pushing the zoom out there, or whether you're using it for closer range shots, say in and around woodland, this thing has you covered. The illuminated reticle really punches out when you're looking against all the different colours of the woodland floor. And while we were out actually, we spotted something on the thermal in the distance. Having a closer look, so around about 40 yards here, we could see quite clearly that's a hare. Just sitting there enjoying the cold crisp air. The rifle's unloaded, nothing in the breech, just using this as an example to show you just how clear these optics are. I'm recording at 30 frames per second, and you can see even when you're panning around the woodland floor quickly, that processor keeps up no problem at all, able to process all those images and all those frames, giving you a nice, clear, crisp, sharp image. I'm going to push the zoom right in here on the hare, so you'll have to excuse the wobble because I'm about 24 times zoom here. and I want to demonstrate the quality of the image. That is absolutely beautiful. You'll have no problem whatsoever with target identification. Of course, if you're not fussed about recording what you do and you're just going out for a shoot, simple click and twist, you can remove the NV100 off the back and you can use the scope by itself for that extra pin sharp quality. I'm spoiling you now, giving you another good look over this. Every part of this looks good. Every part of this clicks together and locks together as it should. Every part of this is finished beautifully. Every part of this is done on my rifle. The specs on this thing are absolutely mind-blowing. Make sure you go to oneleaf.ai for all of this information, and of course you'll also find some reviews from genuine customers, and you'll just see how good this product is and how much it speaks for itself. For more information, please do visit oneleaf.ai.